million households in Nigeria. And a lot of people have said the government, should talk to the people. What exactly do they need? The needs of the people in Ekiti State is absolutely different from the needs of the people in Zamfara State. The needs of the people in the Enego and Bayelsa State is absolutely different from the needs of someone in Mubi, for instance, in Adamawa State. So the question is this: do we still have that constant, conversation, meetings beyond just having, senatorial office in your maybe two scattered across some key local governments in your senatorial district, or you have an office that was used as a campaign office, then you convert it to, maybe beyond all of that? How constantly do our Nigerian politicians relate to the people that voted them into office? If you were voted as a lawmaker, your primary responsibility is to make laws that the executive would execute. Your primary responsibility is, even in your space of oversight function, to make sure that the executive don't abuse their powers, to make sure that the executive, have a synergy with the other two arms of government, which is the legislative arm and the judiciary, in terms of providing the dividends of democracy to the Nigerian people. So there has to be that constant communication between the governed and the government themselves. So, you have a situation whereby your senator won his election, and immediately won his election, you relocated to Abuja, obviously. That's where he's supposed to have his, a primary duty of lawmaking. But you don't even get to see him until maybe when he wants to recontest. It's seeking re-election, then he comes back home, give all of his, in quotes, data boys, they run some cosmetic campaign for him on social media. He commissions one or two projects, gives money for JAM or for external exams, and boom, he's coming out to say he's seeking a re-election, and you want to vote him into office. So the question is this: the initial idea to share the 8,000 naira to 12 million households in this country, was it well thought of? Now that Nigerians raised their objection, I remember the conductor of the bus I took to the office today, he was arguing the fare with someone, and it was like, oh, you don't even consider how much you buy fuel. It's now 600 naira, this and that. And the passenger said, do you also consider how I make money? So everybody's just in between somewhere. You want to get to your destination, you have to pay. You also want to maximize profit from, of course, as a driver or as a commuter. So the question is this: if the government chooses to, thank God the decision Mr. President ordered a review of that particular decision. So hopefully within the next couple of days, we'll get to hear a different, or a different presentation in respect to that. But the question is this: when we vote people into office, do we, like Dr. Dakade would always say, that it is not for the politicians to come and tell us what they want to do. It is for us to tell them what we want them to do. That's the idea. That's the reason why I gave you my mandate. It is not for you to come out and say, oh, well, I know you need roads, I know you need a transformer, but I want to build police station first for you. Talk to your people. There's a scheme in Ekiti State that over the weekend I had to go and study it. It's something that is a system where people are identified in the communities and they are giving monies to them. And I spoke to the DG of that part of the one of the DGs handling that particular scheme, and he said, for accountability's sake, that every single month, when new people are added to the schemes, their names are published. And he goes to tell us that things can work properly as long as we choose or we decide to fix all of these things. So in terms of engagement, it goes beyond, a lot of us, the only time we get to see our politicians are on the campaign ground, on their rallies. And most of us don't even get to hear what they would say. They just come in the numbers, rented crowd. They just come in just to intimidate their opponents, to show that they have the numbers. Well, they also come with some palliatives in their own little space. You get polo, you get Ankara, you get some cups of rice. And the question is this: how much do you think our politicians should prioritize what they put on the table? 8,000 naira may be good for someone in Yenegua, for instance. Someone in Malufanchi that probably just survives on maybe 2,000 naira, does not even have a source of income, does not have a bank account. If you give him the 8K, he probably would appreciate it. I mean, I'm just trying to, play the devil's advocate here, by the way. But in fairness, perhaps those people don't even need that 8,000. Maybe they just want a proper primary health care center in their community. Maybe what they're dealing with is not particularly, we don't have money to feed. There's high mortality rates in the community. Or perhaps what they want is not even primary health care center. They just want water. They want to have access to clean water in their community. So why shouldn't the government go into this and check make a needs assessment and understand what your people want, beyond just handing out money in the name of NSIPs? Nobody says NSIPs are wrong. Nigeria is a developing economy. It's a third world nation. So all of even in the elite countries, they still give out incentives. They still give out these palliatives. So nobody's saying the palliative is wrong, but these things will probably be done in different ways. Imagine when you're pumping about maybe 1,000 buses into the economy. It reduces the congestion on people moving with their own vehicles. If you know that to drive from point A to point B will probably cost you 15,000 naira fuel, and you can actually buy a card, load it, and it takes you from point A to point B for maybe less than 2,000 naira per day. You go to work, you come back, you've saved your vehicle, you've saved fuel, you've actually even saved your own self. You have enough time to relax. Even if you get stuck in traffic, you have enough time to relax, do other things while someone else is handling, driving you home. What about the government trying to improve the public transportation system so that whether you're a civil servant or not, you enjoy from the palliatives in quotes, rather than if you say you want to give 12 million households? As of December 2022, the data that the United Nations gave out was that Nigeria is close to 220 million people. That makes us the 6th most populated country in the world. That makes us the number one the largest black nation in the world. In terms of the potentials of our economy, we are the biggest economy on the continent of Africa in terms of potentials. Now, don't get me wrong. So rather than just throwing these monies around, anchor borrowers, trader money, empowers, conditional cash transfer, homegrown feeding scheme, all of that, beautiful ideas if we have data to back them up. But essentially, what about putting up infrastructures that will benefit everybody, whether you're a civil servant? I mean, we're listening to the Trade Union Congress and the Nigerian Labour Congress now pushing for some really interesting numbers in terms of the proposed minimum wage. I mean, it's going to be something that will be brought up on the table to talk about. Well, I don't have a guest today. It's a midweek edition. And as against what we do on Friday, when we don't have a guest or a topic, on today's show, do you subscribe to the school of thought that feels, don't give us monies anymore? Stop handing, peanuts for us. It's not sustainable anymore. It keeps people into more poverty, drops them lower into the poverty range. My guest yesterday, Mr. Olayinka Oscar Sidiku, talked about the fact that by 2030, there are projections that we will have over 100 million Nigerians living below poverty line. That's less than $2 per day. Families. So, do you think the government should have done better in terms of measuring their needs assessment, beyond just saying let's give 500 billion as palliatives to the people, put public transport on the road, fix our refineries? If we have 2 refineries that are functional in this country, even if they are not functioning at 100%, 80%, they're able to pump in some barrels, refine, get it done, with the expectations that the privately owned Dangote refinery will kick off by the end of the year. You would allow Nigerians to fail. Okay, let us just endure this. It's going to come back. The economy will dictate itself. But I mean, we saw the group managing director of NNPC Limited coming out to say that it is the market forces, that are dictating the price of petrol now. That's why the prices are going up. It's understandable, beautiful. Licenses have been issued. More people have applied for licenses to bring in, refined PMS basically. But then if we have our own, my colleague and I were having this conversation in the office that Nigeria's crude is adjudged to be about the second best crude in the world. And if you look at, the crude, it's not just petrol that you get from the crude. You get about 12 or 10 different things from that crude oil. So the question is this: did we think that the government is doing enough in terms of listening to the position of the people? Brilliant ideas. You want to do this for the people, but you should ask the people what they want you to do for them. That's where town hall conversations comes in. That's why you have ministers representing all of the 36 states and the FCT. That's why you have governors. And then we're going to be talking about the whole governor issue very soon. 1.9 trillion would be shared as allocation at the end of this month. I think that's about the highest ever that the government has shared to states, and local governments. That's huge. That's big money. 0913-600-0410. That's exactly what we're doing on the show today. How do you think the government can work more on improving their relationship with their constituents? When I mean government, I mean your representative, your governors. How often do your governors engage you to know what exactly are your, in terms of priority needs? How often do you speak to your senators? How often do you have access to your House of Representative members? How often do you also speak to your state houses of assembly members? All of these people make up the government. It is not just the president. Your governors collect allowances every month. And there are still governors in this country that are owing 13 months, 11 months, 8 months salary. The minimum wage is a token that can't even buy a bag of rice, by the way. But then there are some people that are still owing you those monies. So the conversation is this: the government seems very far from the people, so they make decisions in their own wisdom that perhaps does not even suit the people well. I need a grinding machine, for instance. I want to start grinding pepper for a token in front of my house. And then you come in as a senator to give me tricycle. I'm definitely going to sell the tricycle. Perhaps. So what exactly is the point of all of those empowerments when they are not meeting the immediate needs of your people? Let's get into the deal. 0913-600-0410. In case you're just tuning in and you're wondering what station is this, we're live and this is Mainland 98.3 FM. This program is The Situation Room. Comes up on the airwaves every Mondays to Fridays from 4 to 5 p.m. We get to look at issues, policies, politics, leadership, structure, and everything that involves our daily existence as a people. So let's get back out to the phone lines. I will also read your messages on the same line. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay, try and call us back. 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, this is Patrick Okoro from Ikorodu.
Okay, Mr. Patrick Okoro, you're welcome to the show today. I'm with you.
But the way I have problem with your analysis is that because if you look at Nigeria as I'm speaking to you, hello?
Can you hear me very well?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Nigeria is not the poorest nation in Africa, and I said potentially, Nigeria is the biggest economy in Africa, potentially.
Okay,
Thank you.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right.
As I'm talking to you, we Nigerian, inside Nigeria, we are the poorest. You understand?
You have changed the thing again. Continue.
Your record. Because I'm talking to you now, we Nigeria, we are suffering. You know, we are not rejoicing. So if the Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he say this has been a dream for quite a long time. But the direction that he's dragging us to now is quite disappointing. You know, I didn't expect this from you. You understand? I think they should withdraw this subsidy. So it's quite sad. He should withdraw. I'll be talking about this. He should withdraw. He should look back. We are not happy. But I'm talking to you. Thank you, Okbe.
Thank you very much. Marcos Oluwajoba is texting and he says, I'm of the opinion that instead of giving cash palliative, structures should be put in place to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. And I also think structures should have been erected even before the subsidy removal. I mean, providing federal mass transit in each of the states would make people move better, and also providing jobs and also revamping the refineries. Thank you very much, Marcos Oluwajoba. Thank you for joining the conversation. Okay. More calls, more messages. 0913 0410. This one says, my name is Femi from Bagada. Okay, it's one of my regulars. And it says, it's always interesting when government give positions and they take it back. It shows that the government listens to the people. It's a no. Okay. He just kept spelling the no. Femi from Bagada. Thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
It's my pleasure to have you join us on the show today, Pastor Badamosi.
Yes, good evening.
You're welcome.
Yes. Please, according to what she's saying that the senators, they don't actually know what their people, their constituents know. Hello?
I'm with you.
Hello?
What I said, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here.
I said before they do their empowerment, there should be needs assessments, so that you prioritize what your people want. You don't just give empowerment because you want to do empowerment. Why would you give people tricycle where they need a proper water, clean water?
The legislators have no business in doling out whatever.
Of course.
Their own is just to legislate.
Of course.
When we look at the American system, they never execute anything. The execution of giving out things, the policies and all that, is for the executives of the executives. But in the Nigerian context, people start asking them, you come to campaign, you don't bring anything. So because of that, they want to save face. That's why they are delving into
executing projects.
Certain projects. So we cannot blame them so much about those senators are an House of Reps people. But my contribution this evening is about this high cost of petrol. Are you getting my point?
Yes, I'm with you.
So I'm begging the government, particularly Sanwo-Olu, to bring out buses. They should do something about this thing. You see, they should do something about it, because now, our president he's a progressive man. APC is a progressive party, and it's kind of to the left, little to the left. And we are expecting certain things that are.
Thank you. Just help me wrap up your thoughts so that we can speak to other people.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and also I understand your position clearly. It is not in the duty of the lawmakers to execute projects. Their job is to make laws and allow the executive rather to execute some of these projects. But then, I mean, the oversight function also allows them to put checks and balances on the executive. So if you're a senator and you see that the bridge connecting one village to the other village in your constituency under your senatorial district, the bridge has collapsed and the government is not forthcoming, why not? Okay, Sam from Magodo says, I believe the government knows best and the best palliative to cushion the effect of the suffering of the people. But because of the corruption within the government can introduce subsidized transportation system and give constant power supply, provide basic amenities, road and security, especially in the rural areas, so that they can go about their farm work. These can help to reduce the impact. It's just that the government only care for themselves and not for the people who voted them. The government needs to be sincere and also needs to act fast. Okay, thank you very much. Dan from Igondo says, when they were running for election, they said it is their own turn. Now we all see the meaning of what he's saying. If you did not pass an examination, how will you perform in the next class? That is what is happening. The channel, they came through as hero and the EU confirmed it, so I reserve my comment. But one day we shall claim back our country from them. My name is Big Dan from Magodo. Okay, Big Dan from Magodo. Thank you very much. 0913-600-0410. You're live on Milan 98.3, and we're just looking at the disconnect between the governed and the government. I mean, it becomes a different ball game. The politician that will come in and eat with you, buy roadside corn, buy roadside bole. We see all of those, those show off, those propaganda on the street build up to the election. The moment they get in on your radio set, or you turn it off completely.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, very well. You're welcome, Bayo.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, fine. I like your prologue all along. Okay. Number one, my contribution is that concerning even the last caller, you see, many of us, when we want to comment, we actually don't make a research or probably a kind of background check on what we actually want to talk about. Like the last man that said, I mean, the job of a representative or a senator is not to make road and things like that. For crying out loud, in first instance, are these guys collecting constituency allowance or not? I mean, it's not that you are telling, it's not that you are telling executive governor, right, that, I mean, the responsibility of an executive governor or even a president.
Hello, are you there? Oh dear. Okay, maybe you try and call us back. More messages, and this one says, my name is Dampi from Igondo, Lagos. But I want to ask this question. I will commit crime or okay. I didn't get this part of your message, Dampi, but let me try and go through it. Did we commit a crime or have we committed any sin against this government and the APC regime? Okay. Right from the first day of this regime, it's been suffering, increment of tax and everything in the nation now. We're beginning to see okay. Thank you very much, Dampi. I really appreciate you. INEC should be brought to book by police and the DSS for their Adamawa wreck whereabouts. You can't employ someone without knowing where. Okay. And this one says, I listened clearly when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was giving his speech as the president, and this government won't dictate and force things on Nigeria, but discuss and follow the will of the people. But this promise is different from what we've seen. Who will save Nigerians? The poor can't breathe. The shege is getting out of control. We meet in court. Ogbeni Obalolu from Ikeja. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me go back to the phone lines. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Your name and where are you joining us from today?
Good afternoon. I'm calling from Ikoyi.
Your name?
Olubode.
Okay. Olubode from Ikoyi. Good to have you join us.
Okay, so I want to start from where the last caller stopped.
Please, you have the floor.
He was trying to establish the fact that Nigerians are, over emotional. I'm going to start my contribution like this. Since May 29, that BAC, became the president, some LP, I'll put it out, LP members refused to understand that some things had already been set before BAT entered. Just like the subsidy removal have already been concluded, the palliative from World Bank had already been concluded. Some of these things have already been concluded, and they decide to cash transfer that we refuse to accept. Today now, the president has listened to our yearnings, and then he has, called for a review of this 8,000. I expect people to, comment the fact that he listens to us. The last administration, we were complaining that
they weren't listening.
He will say, Baba has yeah, whatever. We were complaining. I want people to understand that some of these problems are not BAT's problem, actually. But he has inherited those problems, and he said that we should not retain him. That because he lobbied for this job, he would do it. He's starting, by taking a bold step, taking off the subsidy, something that we all know that it has to go. Nigeria cannot even afford this subsidy to start with. We cannot. Nigeria is almost broke right now. You see our revenue to state services. People they are calling crazy percentage, and we are not even worried about those that one. Where will Nigeria get money to be paying subsidy at this point? With our economy experiencing this, it's just annoying that people will refuse to face this fact. You will only use emotion to judge all of this.
Thank you. Thank you, Olabode. Thank you.
Let's give him chance, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate your optimism. By the way, okay. This one says, for the first time in many years, of this government, the government is sharing almost 2 trillion. Let's divert our attention to the governors and ask the questions. Fuel remove tough but inevitable decisions for government to reduce our borrowing. Emmanuel, thank you very much. More calls. Hello, Mickey Ways. Good evening.
Good evening, my boy.
You're welcome.
You see, when people come to say that the subsidy removal was already done before the president came on board. You see, they are misinforming people. At least the subsidy that was paid for was still remaining a month to run before. So they should not come and misinform anybody. The truth is that subsidy must go. But what everybody is talking about, what about the mitigant? Because it must go, but the kind of hardship, the kind of unemployment, and even at the attendance insecurity that follows unemployment. Okay, come out of your house when you are going, just look around, you see boys in their 20s. Boys in their 20s, you see them gather talking, they have nowhere to go, they have no, at least in some places you see 20 of them. Then gather from morning to night doing nothing. Is it not security? No job anywhere, and companies are closing down. We come here to justify. We need to tell the government the right thing. See, okay, they keep saying, okay, trailers are the ones that carry food, farm produce, they bring them to Lagos. So it is diesel. But I grew up in a village at Ostel local government. You see, in that place, the farmers there, even the days of cocoa and the rest, they use motorcycle to carry this cocoa from the farm. Most of the farms are more than 5 to 10 kilometers to the village. So they have to convey it with motorcycle. Is it not petrol motorcycle use it? Then they have to convey with van, this pickup van. So most of the time the government, they don't look deep down, understand the action they want to take, how it will impact, and then understand the environment of which the people they are dealing with are operating and know how to deal with them. So I tell you, the kind of money people will be spending in those villages now to bring those farm produce to the village before trailer will carry it. Trailer don't enter to bushes. So these are some of the factors. So
Thank you.
To understand the whole thing better and handle it well.
Thank you very much.
Let the refineries work, even if it's the
modular refineries.
Let them work. Yes.
Thank you, Mickey Mozi. Thank you. Thank you very much. Olalekan from Ayobo is also texting, and he says the senators collect constituency allowance. Of course, we know they do. And it's a fraud. Their function is to collect the federal project in their constituency, and the necessary ministries are mandated to do it while they monitor. I hope the laws should be put in place for checking their excesses. Okay. Let me speak to Prince Wise. Good evening, Prince Wise.
Thank you for speaking with me today. Yesterday, you did not speak with me.
It was not intentional, Prince Wise. Good to have you today.
I know you. You are very neutral. You are for us. Immediately you start your program, everything we are doing, we stop.
Prince Wise, let's go on.
I'm ready to go. You see, what I want to say, number one, is this. I want to thank Mr. President. Listen to us. We tell him, we told him, we cry, we shout, say we don't want 8,000. And he listens to us. Now, that money should be channeled to board or to transportation, land transportation, sea transportation at a cheaper rate. That money, if you want to give it the money to them for period of 6 months, fine, good. That 6 months, I want to appeal to him as well to let the foreign food come in, right? Other things to come for that period is part of palliative. And again, security. I want the Lagbaja and Co. to do with those terrorizing the country. Between now and that 6 months, I want security I want Nigeria to be secure so that those farmers, they will go back to the farm. And at time, Mr. President, will declare emergency on agriculture. Yes, for food. Yes, to subsidize agricultural equipment. The money taken away from fed subsidy to go to the agriculture. If somebody says we should go back for subsidy, I say capital no. How can we subsidize West African countries? That is why we say what is killing Nigeria today, Opeyemi, is corruption. You will apply for subsidy, you brought the funds to Nigeria. Instead of selling to Nigeria, you take it to West Africa country to make more money.
Thank you, Prince Wise. Thank you.
Can I stop here?
Please, so that we can talk to the other people.
Let me write it up by saying God Almighty will help Mr. Tinubu to succeed. Because if he succeeds, it is me and you that succeed. Good evening to you.
Good evening, and thank you so much, Prince Wise, for always finding time to join us on the show. Annie from Ogun State says it's rather unfortunate that the people who voted has failed us woefully. This is not about party name, neither is it about the tribe, but about good governance for our great country. The politicians are not feeling the heat of the suffering, the masses are the ones facing it. Please let them give us the best palliatives of transportation, fixing our refineries and good hospitals. Please take note, all of their children are out of this country. They are there to serve us. Thank you very much. Olubode Said from Ikoyi says, it doesn't become a gold until it has passed through the fire. Let us pray this price for Nigeria's betterment. The government has declared state of emergency on food security. The government is very intentional about the Nigerian project. I want to implore us to pull our voices together to get the federal government to use the 500 billion to get electric mass buses so that we can have affordable transportation. Olubonde Fomikoyi, thank you. You were talking to us, and I think the line actually took you out. Okay. Ralph from Satellite is also texting, and he says, no president listens to anyone's cry. The government has no idea of what they were doing. Sharing of money is the easiest way to siphon money. Ralph from Satellite Town, thank you very much for your message. I'll pick more messages, then we'll go back to the phone lines. Bright, okay. This one says, Olalekan from Ayo, but the last caller saying subsidy remained 1 month is now aware of the debt the federal government is owing the marketers. 6 months of Tinubu till 2024 is to manage the 2023 Buhari's budget. Okay, interesting. Thank you. Let me get back to the phone line. 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. This is Kayode calling from Butemeta.
Okay, Kayode from Butemeta. It's my pleasure to have you on the show today.
You know what is happening in this country? Nigerians are not really happy with the situation of the country. Okay, yesterday now, they just increased fuel to 617. For crying out loud, this is wickedness, please. It's wickedness of the highest order. If Nigerians are not able to put food in their mouth, the government subsidy has gone, truly. Fine, but they should make sure that our refinery work and make sure that things work out fine for everybody. This politician or this political system that they are operating, if Nigerians should spark, they will not be able to handle it. And I'm afraid with the way things is going on. God bless Nigeria, my brother.
And God bless you too. He said if Nigerians should spark, please don't let us spark. This is Yinka from Ifako Ija, and he says, apart from lawmaking, which is their primary responsibility, lawmakers also carry out constituency projects with finances from the government. So your prologue is not out of place. Their expenses should be tailored to meet the important needs of their respective constituents. Yes, that's exactly what I said. Yinka from Ifako Ija, thank you. Hello, good evening.
Opeyemi, long time. How are you?
It's been a while. Good to have you back on the show.
I'm calling from Sango.
Of course, you're welcome. How you doing?
Yeah. The thing is that we're in this boat together. And this thing has been age-long decadence because we have a country of bandits, country of rogues, countries of looters from head to toe. They are the one that will allow a single country general to loot more than $100 billion. The same people will allow greater percentage of our crude to be stolen by people in high places. And that is where we are. So my also observation is that the media in Nigeria, with due respect to you in the studio, they've not helped us in the last few years of civilian regime in Nigeria. In those days, if there will be price change, the media will have, they will leak it. Where there was no ICT, the media, they will stick the information and let the papers carry it. But now, suddenly, they brought out a price increase. No single media man knew about it. Then secondly, you are talking about all this refinery. The media did not tell us that Dangote refinery was not ready to operate. No single media told us. Nobody in the media told us the state of repair of all our 4 refineries. In those days, the media, they will be monitoring, we used to have energy desk correspondent. They will be bringing out what was happening in various organizations, but this is no longer. That is why we are where we are. So we did not get a mindset that we will suffer like this. Now it has come to play. The media is not always telling us what about the what do they call Bodula refinery they have in Imo State, they have in Bayelsa, they have in Edo State and some other state in the south. What is happening? Are they not getting crude to refine?
Thank you.
These are the questions that will help us dig into all these things for us.
Thank you,
and we know where we are going. So the masses are not being fed with what is happening. And this is a new government. Please, we need the media to help us.
Thank you very much.
Let the president issue what they call special order. This presidential order to revise the Petroleum Industry Act. That is the only way to get out of this problem.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
To suspend the petroleum industry.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And have a very good evening too. John from Mota is texting, and he says that India has 7 refineries with no crude oil. Let the refineries work first before you remove subsidy. Where are the Nigerian Society of Engineers? Why can't the refineries work? John from Mota is asking these questions. 0913-600-0410. Hello, good evening.
Hello,
good to have you join us on the show today.
I'm on the road.
Okay.
Somebody is called congratulating Mr. President for listening to him as he teach 8,000. These are the same people praising Buhari on the Buhari labor. I don't know what's wrong with this kind of character. A man who the camp for the horse, they are congratulating him. You see, that is the problem of this country. When a president do something too hard and Tommy Roy, I don't know what people get supporting bad decision and bad governance in this country. That's where we are. So, issue of this subsidy, it's now obvious that it's a copycat of a thing. Tinubu has that they will be said going to remove something. I think so. He has to come for it. So what are you talking about here?
Thank you.
So the issue of this subsidy, if it's no money, it's not a free policy that Nigeria will suffer. Opeyemi in my village, a little says 660. You may not understand what the hardship Nigerians are passing through. I beg every Nigerian, when you have your vehicle, any of these buses, carry people, take them to where they're going. But with all these hospitals, like last man and police, allow all this.
Thank you.
Nigerians are passing through an imaginable situation.
Thank you very much.
So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you for lending your thoughts on the show today. I really appreciate. Abraham Ayotunde from Oshogbo, Osun State says that we're clamoring for cost of governance to be reduced. Rather, the government keeps increasing their own daily expenditures and recurrent expenditures keep eating into the country's economy. Good evening. Thank you. Abraham from Oshogbo, the capital of Osun State. Thank you for that message. And this one says it's quite laughable that even the glaring confusion by the government, which has been accepted, is being glamorized by some people. This is why we're here and where we are as a nation. Okay. 0913-600-0410. This one says that the only solution to Nigeria's problem is to allow our refineries to be producing oil. If not, things will be very difficult. Comrade Collins from Alimosho, 0913-600-0410. This program is called The Situation Room, and you're live on mainland 98.3 FM. So what we basically do, and I'm sure you've been listening since about 4 p.m. when we started out, is just to bring to our attention better ways, especially when policies that don't particularly, go down well with the yearnings and expectations of the Nigerian people. Hello, good evening, Mr. Kayode.
Good evening, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and you?
Yeah, I'm good. Okay.
Okay.
I need to give my own view on this.
Please, you have the floor.
I think we need to look at these things a bit more holistically and understand that every Nigerian has taken out of Nigeria since the subsidy regime started. And one way or the other, we have been taking where we should not have been taken. So today, if Nigeria decides to take that off us and reinvest it for us, for the betterment of Nigeria, we should not be the ones to complain the most. But coincidentally, as man would always continue to ask for more and more and more and more. And that's the position we found ourselves. I'd like people to get to understand that APC has the short, the mid, and the long-term plan for this. The palliative matter is the least of the problems. And that is why there's so much noise about it, because it's the first phase. This government is just probably about 7 weeks in power presently. And they've listened to the yearnings of the people, trying to restructure and look at all these things and say, okay, this might not be the best way. What we will be able to do about it? So everybody going through this phase, it's the betterment of it. We are the people that shouted and said we wanted liberalization, NPCL, in September. So it's nobody's fault for Christ. Because once we increase the civil service long term, are we talking about transportation? We're talking about agriculture. So we're moving forward. We just have to be a bit patient to allow these things work out so that we get to where we're going. I think that's the way I just see it.
Thank you.
Patient with the HPC government.
Thank you, Mr. Coyote. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. 09136. No, for me, for transport palliative. How much is government train from Lagos to Ibadan? They should use the money to repair the refineries. That's Rahim. More than 40 days in power is 70 billion for the boys. In your one, it's a long one. Thank you very much. This is Olale Konfomayoba, and he says, I'd expected the current situation of Nigeria since 2015, but Buhari wasn't encouraged enough to make it happen. Now we face it. I would have expected Tinubu to pick just two aspects of the economy and deal with it, namely setting up and revitalizing the industrial agricultural sector and intentionally repairing the refineries against all the other things, at least in the next. Okay, let me read this one quickly. He also said that it is the business of the lawmakers to make law, not to execute project. Any lawmaker that is making law is just giving stolen. Okay. George from Ijai, thank you very much. I got a message 09136000410. Let me go through some of the messages that I have dropped in the DM. And this one says, my name is Clara from Abule Egba. The increment in the price of petrol had not stopped yet. The more the dollar goes up, the more the petrol price would also go up. So everybody should 600-04 and 10. What do you think? Are the governments and their inability to reach out to the people, to communicate with the people, so that they can be able to set out agenda? I think the few callers or the few doesn't do what it's supposed to do. It doesn't. It's as simple as your priority needs. Electricity, your transformers are not working. There's no proper, water supply. The drainages are bad. Even if you will not do it as a lawmaker, you take it to the floor of the House. That's exactly why there are debates on the floor of the House. There are motions that are being raised. There are bills that are being sponsored. And at the end of the day, I mean, you'll be able to lobby some of these things, and then you get this project, fixed at the primary level. It makes a lot of sense that way. So, understand. Hello, good evening. Hello. Okay, I think this person is not ready to talk to us. You can actually call us back. Ndubusi from Igondo says, okay, let me pick this call first. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good to have you join us on the show today. Your name and where are you calling from?
Emmanuel, calling from K2.
Emmanuel from K2, you're welcome.
God will bless Eradua, former president. God will bless him and rest in peace. It's 12 years ago. It's
laughable. From Satellite Town, thank you, Jai. Thank you very much. Ndubuzi from Igondo is also texting, and it says, I believe your day is going well. Yeah, thank you. I can't understand why Mele Kyari is still in charge of the NNPCL. Do you listen to this man's speech on TV when he was responding to the questions from the reporters? You can see that this man is not interested in revamping our refineries. This government is not saying anything about repairing the refineries. Instead, they are busy approving import licenses to companies to bring in fuel into the country. I insist that the best palliative is to revamp our refineries and bring down the price of transportation, which will in turn affect every area positively. This is Ndubusi from Igondo. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Okay, more messages. This one says, for whatever reason, the government knows that the people would talk and keep quiet and move on. Petrol go still reach 1,000. Okay. I appreciate the sarcasm, by the way. Hello, good evening, Pastor Ambrose.
Good evening, Opeyemi.
My pleasure to have you join us today on the show.
Yes, thank you. You see, if you are satisfied or the government is favoring you or you are satisfied with the situation, don't say Nigerians should be patient. Since when have I been patient? I'm almost 60 now. And Buhari used 8 years to run this country down. Somebody is telling me that we should be patient. Be patient for what? But away from that, let me be sincere. If this government, where they rescinded this decision on this 8,000 palliative, it means that they have some ears on ground that are listening. So that is a good one for them. Then secondly, also, this government, as they are listening, they should go and do something concerning our refinery.
Thank you, Pastor Ambrose.
They should go and do. I have not spoken now.
I'm pressed for time, Pastor Ambrose.
Okay,
I'm pressed for time.
They should give Nigerians prepaid meters.
Okay.
Every Nigerian, they should give them prepaid meter. Since time has gone, no problem. God bless you.
And I really appreciate you for understanding me. I mean, Friday is always a beautiful part on the show because it gives us the opportunity to have a conversation. No guest, no topic. Well, I won't be able to pick calls again, and I won't be able to read messages again. I want to appeal to you, and I want to apologize for all of the efforts that it takes you to get, across to us. I know it can be really, really stressful. Well, I'm trying to understand how the government wants to, review and remodel this, but we'll keep our fingers crossed. But before then, don't forget to keep your dial locked on mainland 98.3 FM. At the dot of 5 o'clock, the news beats will come through by 5:30, the full news, and by 6 o'clock. Wale and the gang would come back for Sport Cruise. And then, don't forget that when you see something, you say something. Have a very good evening. My name is Opeyemi. Opeyemi, akinyode, stay out of trouble.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM.
As a people with one song, with one